Hi! Look who it is! We got our best girl here. Hey, baby. Mac, you gonna say hello to everyone? That's nice. That's nice cuddles, isn't it? Hi, everyone. How are we? I hope you're all well. Listen, I'm full of a cold. Big yawn. There's a big yawn, my baby. I've missed her so much. I've had 4 days away from her. Oh, Mac. You want to go back to your bed, don't you? But I pulled you out because I want you to say hello to everyone because you're the cutest little pig in the whole wide world. You like the microphone, don't you? Yes, you do want to go down. Anyway, there you go, back in your bed. Hello everyone. Listen, I'm full of cold. I'm very tired, and I've had a glass of fancy stuff in a can. So tonight might be a little bit chaotic, but let's face it, we're not really here for the story, are we? That's the that's the that's the long and the short of it. Oh my god, my brain's ability to find words today. I got home, so I've been in Belfast over the weekend, doing some filming and then doing a show, and then I left to come back this morning. So I've been up since 7, which is a good 2.5 hours before I would normally get up. So that's problem number one. Problem number two, just full of cold. First time I've had a cold in forever. And problem number three, I'm just a bit silly altogether. So, oh, I've smudged all of that eye makeup too, haven't I? I mean, not that I'm wearing much eye makeup, but honestly, my face looked so much like a splodge of mashed potato earlier that I put makeup on just to do my podcast with Ron. What are you doing? Naughty dog. I had a recording for Lexx Education today, and I just couldn't bear looking at myself in the. You know, when you're just a bit puffy and tired and. Anyway, welcome to the book club. What's she going on about? What I normally do for book club is I move the YouTube page over to the right so I can just see your comments and I can't see my own stupid face. Um, so right, let's get rid of all the tabs. A professional would have done this before, and I know that. But like I said, I've got mush brain today, swamp brain, as my brother calls it. It really was swamp brain today. Just couldn't find any of my words. But I wrote our chapter. It was an easy one to write today because I'd set it up well. I don't think he's here in the chat today. He did say he was teaching, so he might not have come, but I met Matthew. Our Matthew, that's often in the chat, was at my gig in Belfast last night, so I got to say hello. It wasn't physics today, Mystic. What did we do today? I think it was chemistry. Oh my god, I've forgotten already. It was 5 hours. Hang on, I've got my notepad here. What was it? Was it chemistry? It confuses me because we meet up to record and we record the intros for the next one to go out, the quiz for the last one, and a new episode. So I just get, yes, hairball. It was hairball. That's who I met. Oh, it's chemistry. It was chemistry we did today. Apparently, Ron's taught me about ionic bonds and ions before, but every time that boy starts telling me about something, my brain just starts like doing watercolor paintings and thinking about anything other than what he's saying. God, it's so boring. Thank goodness Ron is lovely. Otherwise, I'd be so much ruder to him. The episode that's going out next week is one of my favorite ones. It's very stupid. We get very mad at each other. Yes, that is human hairball, Ben. Real name Matthew. I sang "Isn't It Ionic" at him, Neil. Yes. So welcome to book club. Thank you, Raven, for saying I look good. This is my I'm a business lady jumper, but it's also very warm because, as with everybody else, can't really afford to have the heating on at the moment. Now we are. It was only. Oh my goodness, the voting! So exciting. I had to count this up 3 times this morning at the airport. First time I counted it up, it came to a dead heat. And then the second time I counted it up, bum, 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 it was won by 1 vote. So if you're not getting your votes in because you're like, it'll never count, it bloody counts. There was only 1 vote in it today. How exciting. So we're going into chapter 8. chapter 8 is going to be a tad ridiculous, but listen, I didn't set a plot up very well at the start of this. We don't know what we're going for. I really realized this, that when we were doing the Emma book, we wanted her to just meet a man and fall in love. What do we want for Leah and Harry? We don't know. They're on an adventure now. So that's basically the genre of this book. It's just an adventure and we don't know what's happening. So not only is there a vote at the end of this one, but I've put some choose your own parts into it. And I'd like you to go easy on me in terms of the accents today, because we're going to meet at least 3 new characters. And I need you to be slightly kind, please. Although that is nearly empty, it's probably for the best. I apologize for my incredibly nasally voice. I'm having to do that thing, where you sleep like propped upright, because as soon as you lie down and it all shifts into one side and then your cheek feels like it's going to explode because it's too full. This is too much information, but listen, Tom's been away for days and my Mackie's been away for days, so I've had no one to tell my nonsense to. If those of you that were at the Treasures Pod live stream earlier will understand why I needed to express everything so loudly in between Will's research. So, chapter 8. So we left chapter 7 with Gina and Larry, our Italian-French married combo, inviting Leah, Harry, and Florence to come and stay with them because they felt a little bit sad about staying in the camper van. So we now tip over into chapter 8. Right. The Russo de Luca house. I made them up surnames. The Russo de Luca house. They felt like they'd be double-barreled people. Do you know what I mean? The Russo de Luca. How many times can we say that over and over again? The Russo de Luca house was prettily decorated from the outside with all the trappings of modern suburbia. Leah counted at least 3 garden gnomes guarding the path as she guided Florence up the gravel towards the well-lit front door. When you see a house and they've got loads of outside lights on and you think, oh, you must be really not worried about money if you can light the outside of your house. That's how I always feel. The more of those little dotty abouty lights and like light showing where the door is, you're like, oh, it'd be really nice to not like scrub into your house. She clutched at Harry's hand, trying to feel grounded in the madness that their lives had turned into. Gina settled them into plush sofas. Right. Now Gina is Italian. Italian. Like a pizza. Would you like a drink? No, it always goes kind of Transylvanian, the Italian, isn't it? Yeah, solar lights is a good idea, Outworld, and I've got some, but then at this time of year, there's no solar to power the lights. So they come on for about an hour and then they're dead again. There's not enough sun for it. Do you know what I'm doing is I'm trying desperately hard not to say when's your dol mio day, but maybe I should just say that because it does get me into the best approximation of an Italian accent that I can do. Would you like a drink? No, you see, why does it? They don't roll their R's, Italians, do they? How do drink? How do Italians do like a DR sound? I should have researched this before we got on the stream. Mackie, how does an Italian say DR, baby? Can you tell people? Can you tell people? No, you don't know. How does an Italian say DR? Nothing. You're not very helpful with accents, are you, Piglet? No, bless her face, though. She does want to help, doesn't she? This is a mad one, isn't it? But even by my standards, we're only 4 lines in. Do try a g sound. Would you like a g? That's not helpful. What have you done now? Would you like a grink? What do you mean a g sound? What do you mean? Would you like a gunk? Would you like a gink? Gunk? Gunk? Would you like a "Oh, Soph, do you call your baby Piglet?" I had a funny time once. I was in Bridport with Mackin. It's the first time me and Mac had ever been in Bridport, and I was walking her, and this woman came over, and she was like, "Oh my god, can I just say I love your dog? I always see you walking her, and she's so beautiful." And I was like, "Oh, thank you very much. That's very kind." And then I was like, "Come on, Piglet, let's go." And the woman just looked at me. And she went, "Oh my god, is it a pig?" I was like, "No, no, just." How can you go from telling someone their dog is beautiful to asking them if it's a pig? Anyway, um, you're not helping with the Italian accent. I'm very appreciative, Art World, of your attempts for it, but I don't know what you mean. When signor mio day, would you like a drink? Drink, drink. I don't know. She asked, her soft accent melodious. I'm just trolling myself now. Oh, yes, please, Leah said, and Harry nodded in agreement. I will get some wine. Oh, that wasn't bad for me. I will get some wine, Leah said. No, Leah didn't say that. Gina said, we like wine in this house. I'm so sorry, Italy. Harry is Welsh. I'm from Wales. You must be in shock. Harry leant forward to a still ashen faced Larry. Yes, I have seen Paul at least once a week for maybe 10 years now. I can't believe it. Of all the places I ever expected to see a murdered man, it certainly wasn't here. Leah sat silently wondering about Larry's past life. If she looked back on her entire life, she couldn't pinpoint one place above another as a place she was more likely to see a dead body. Her life had been gloriously threat of dead body free until this moment. Right, okay. We've got a new character. We do need to choose an accent. The thing is, it's a child of Gina and Larry. So, w- d- w- do we. Maybe you get to choose between Welsh, Italian, or French. Okay, yeah, Soph says Welsh. Of course I can. I mean, come on. Well, Transylvanian's gonna happen anyway, Lady Frag. Um, Lots of votes for Welsh. Yes, okay. Welsh, but with a lisp. Yeah, I mean that could happen. Austrian. Well, girlfriend of the podcast, Judith is Austrian, so I'm not bad at that. Nasally French. Oh, proper posh, like they've sent them to boarding school. Oh, that could be good. Um, right. So shall I make Okay. And also, you get to choose his name. There's going to be three children of the Russo, what are they called? Russo De Luca family. And they're all going to need names. So chuck me some names. Oh, we got Owen. Okay. Owen is a good name. Right. So Owen, child labeled Z is going to be Owen, and he is going to be Welsh. Okay. Uh, that is written down. Right. Um, what's happened? Okay, but we'll make him like teenage Welsh. Oh my god, what's happened? A male voice from the doorway sounded fearful, and Leah whipped round to look at where it came from. A teenager, maybe somewhere between 16 and 19, stood staring shock faced at Larry. He must be their son. Oh, Owen, Larry said, his eyes going wide. I didn't see you there. How much did you hear? uh, okay, and then no, oh my god. I'm from Wales, but I'm a teenager. Oh my god, I'm from Wales. Enough, Owen said. I don't know why he's angry. Actually, he's not really angry. I don't really know how to do normal teenagers. Anyway, enough, Owen said. Okay, now second child is here. We've got Bruno, Geraint, Llewellyn. Oh, Llewellyn's fun, isn't it? Let's go Llewellyn for second child. So we've got Owen, and now we've got Llewellyn. And is Llewellyn going to be Welsh, French, or Italian? We're going for Lady and the Tramp rules on these children. We're going Welsh again. So we're having three little Welsh children. We've got Welsh, French, Welsh slash French. Okay, Welsh again. Okay, but we'll make this one. This is the one. This one's a bit younger. Okay, so, um, What's going on? A slightly shorter version of Owen arrived by his side, looking bleary eyed. It was unclear if he was sleepy or just gauzy eyed from playing video games. Leah guessed he must be around 13 or so. Um, this must be. Oh, I should really write down who's talking because this is hard enough as it is. That must be Larry, I think. How the hell do you spell Llewellyn? Like that, I think. He's also Welsh. Okay. Llewellyn. Oh no. How do you say Llewellyn in a French accent? This can't come up much. Llewellyn, what are you doing up? Okay, now, no, Llewellyn is Welsh, but like teenage Welsh, so it's breaking up like I heard a commotion, said Llewellyn, sounding a lot like an old lady. Oh God, Gina's back. Gina came back into the room carrying a fancy-looking cut glass decanter and a few glasses. But it's Wednesday, don't me or day. Boys, come in and sit down. Fuck knows. Gina, Larry cautioned, but Gina flicked an eye to him and shrugged. What? I would rather now than at school tomorrow. It's going to spread fast, Larry. um, then we're back to that's Owen. Oh no, I've made this doubly hard now because I just put X, Y, and Z in for their names, thinking you'd choose them. Um, I'm from Wales. You're scaring me, said Owen, and Leah watched X. No, X is Llewellyn. Uh, and Leo watched Llewellyn not know whether to smirk at his brother's fear or feel it himself. Paul has died, Larry said slowly. Gina poured the wine into the silence that followed. Paul from the pub, said Owen. It's a very deep voice for an 18-year-old, actually, isn't it? Uncle Paul, said Llewellyn, and Leah's stomach sank. Okay, now we've got the third child and we need a name. There's lots of votes for Mafanwe. I thought Mafanwe was a female name. Is it not? Is Mafanwe a name? It's another boy. They've got 3 boys. I don't know why. I just thought it'd be fun. Bob, just Bob. Owen, Llewellyn, and Bob. I love it. Yes. All right. Bob is the third kid. Bob. And do you want Bob also to be Welsh? I'll give you the option of Welsh, French, or Irish. Yeah, no, I didn't necessarily say it was a boy. I don't know. I went with 3 boys. Um, it felt like a fun trio of little rugby playing Welsh lads to have. So I think Lisa's voting yes for Welsh. We've got a third Welsh child. Okay, so we've got French mum, French dad, Irish mum, 3 little Welsh children. Uncle Paul is dead. Leah thought she was going to get whiplash from keep whipping her head round to the door to see who had spoken. How many children did the Rousseau de Lucas have? This one was the smallest yet, maybe somewhere around 10, in a pajama matching 2-piece set. And I don't know what that means. And hair all sticking up on one side of his head. There was no doubting that this one had been half asleep before the sound of chatting aroused him. It is a linguistics massacre, Ben. There are no survivors. Oh no, Italian. Oh, Bob, come here. Gina set down the wine glasses and pulled him in close to her in a hug. That's a horrible sentence, isn't it? How did he die? That's Owen. Um, how did he die? Asked Owen, frowning at his father. These are the weirdest kids, isn't it? How did he die? Asked Owen, frowning at his father. Larry and Gina exchanged a glance, having a silent parental discussion about just how much information they wanted to give their children. We think there was an argument with someone and it got out of hand, maybe. It's a good jumper for the French accent, this one, actually, isn't it? It's good out of hand, maybe. Larry said carefully, no doubt feeling the weight of every word. Was he giving his sons a lifelong fear of confrontation by telling them that arguments lead to death? Or a sensible, wary fear of getting Larry with everyone who crossed your path? We don't want you to worry, though, Gina said. That was okay, that sentence, wasn't it? Um, we don't want you to worry, though, Gina said, gathering them all together onto the long sofa with herself and Larry. The police have been very clear and talked it all out. We can be a bit sad, but you mustn't be frightened, okay? Or if you do feel frightened, we must talk about it. Ugh, this isn't even an accent, is it? We must talk about it so that the scary feelings have to come out into the open, okay? The boys nodded around her, and then one by one their eyes fell on Harry, Leah, and Florence sitting on the opposite sofa. Um, who is Y? Is Y Bob? I think Y is Bob. Yes. I'm on wheels. Who are they? Asked Bob with the casual rudeness of the child. These are new friends of ours, Larry said, forcing a smile over the worried look on his face. These are Lear and Ari, and their dog, Florence. X is Llewellyn. This will be easier next chapter when I've written these. Um, uh, and he's a teenager. Um, is the dog? Oh no, I'm from Wales. I'm from Wales, but my accent's all dear, it's deep and then it's high because I'm 13. No, it's bad, isn't it? Is the dog not for us then? Said Llewellyn, pouting. Oh God, now back to French. French. No, don't you think we have enough dogs? Larry rubbed Llewellyn's hair. This was a bad idea. Don't let me do this again. Um, um, oh, you can't have enough dogs, Papa, said Bob, yawning. Um, Come on, back to bed, or school will be very difficult with your dry eyes in the morning, said Larry, hustling the children to a standing position and leading them out of the room. Say good night to our guests. Ben says, no way the murderer is going anywhere near this collection of oddballs. You wouldn't take them on, would you? They're mad. The children, the children shyly did as they were told, and Leah and Harry waved back. Gina showed them where the two family dogs were. The dogs don't have accents. We're not doing that. And Florence joined them in flopping lazily by a wood burner and immediately falling asleep. Italian. See, um, thinking of Nicolas Cage in that film from the war with Penelope Cruz. What was it called? The one with the island. Was it called something about an island? Pelagia, that's what she was called. Anyway, Bella Bambina, 12 o'clock. That's. You have picked an interesting time to visit, Gina said. We have been here for Captain Corelli's mandolin, that's it. We have been here for decades and never seen. Thank you, Dorcas and Soph. Yes. We have been here for decades and never seen anything more interesting than roadworks. And now, my goodness, I don't know how we will recover. Harry is sort of normal Welsh. I'm from Wales. It's very kind of you to have us here, Harry said. You don't know us at all. It's a big deal to let us into your home with your children. That thought hadn't occurred to Leah at all. The Russo de Lucas must be mad. I can tell good people when I see them, Gina said, and Leah immediately felt like less like a murder suspect. Larry returned to the room and they drank their wine, chatting mildly, but everyone felt the distractions and the need for processing time between them. When they had drained the last mouthfuls, Gina showed them to a guest bedroom, and Leah and Harry finally sat on the bed in silence. Maybe the curse of this trip is we're never actually going to sleep in the camper van we bought for it. Leah smiled wanly, and Harry laughed. Leah was grateful to him for laughing. It made her feel a little better. They climbed into the plush double bed and wondered how quickly sleep would arrive. It was a mercifully brief wait. The next morning was a flurry of school bags and breakfasts. It's definitely harder to do this when I've had a drink. I can't read at all. The next morning was a flurry of school bags and breakfasts as Gina and Larry simultaneously got their children ready for school and checked they felt up for going. The boys were sure they were up to it, no doubt eager to share the news with school friends and feel an odd sense of pride when it was discovered that their father had been the man brave enough to find the body. Um, French. We have to go down to the station and try and fill in some more details for them. Would you like to take us back? Would you like us to take you back to your van? Larry asked. Um, oh God, the French to Italian is difficult. Um, the Bella Bambina at 12 o'clock. Of course, you are more than welcome to stay here if you would rather, Gina interjected, making sure her guests knew they were welcome to stay. Thank you, Leah replied gratefully. We will at least go back for the day and then see if we start to get spooked when it gets dark. Thank you so much. When Larry returned from the school run, dropping the boys to their various palaces of local education, it's a fantasy, this story, the four adults and dog piled into his car and headed in the direction of the pub. Leah felt uncertain at the prospect of seeing it again. Would it be covered in police tape and swarmed with people in hazmat suits like in the films and TV shows? Her imagination could really run wild. She presumed they would be asked some more cursory questions on record at some point, but if the police already had a man in custody, perhaps it wouldn't be necessary. Larry drove into the car park and put the handbrake on. Leah unclipped her seatbelt and stepped out of the car, pulling Florence with her gently. Harry stayed in the car. Are you coming? She bent down, popping her head in through her open door and questioning him. He didn't reply. Harry? But Harry was staring out of his window past the pub and into the field. It's gone, he said simply. Leah straightened up and moved round the back of the car to look at where he was staring. There was no camper van. Harry belatedly clambered out of his own door, followed by Gina and Larry. Leah looked all round the field as if somehow she could miss the presence of the one enormous vehicle that had been there. It was gone. Uh, would the police have taken it? She turned to Harry, feeling oddly untroubled by its vanishing. It was so heartily confusing that she had no idea how to react. I don't know, for evidence maybe, or joyriders? Who would joyride in a camper van? Well, yes, good point, but, well, not joyriding, but maybe local troublemakers, drawn here by the ruckus last night and just couldn't resist an opportunity to steal it. That's all we need, muttered Leah. Either way, Larry said, checking his watch. If it has been seized or stolen, it is the police you will want, so best come with us to the station. Leah and Harry nodded silently, still staring at the space in the field where the temporary home had been. I guess we're really not having those noodles then, Leah smiled as they piled into the back seats of Larry's car. Or sleeping in it. Well, I wanted a change from things being the same every day, Harry said wryly, and Leah squeezed his hand. You wanted an adventure, you got one, Harry. I'm so sorry about all the sniffing. This must be impossible to listen to. They pulled up at the tiny local police station and entered through old-fashioned wooden doors. Larry and Gina were ushered straight through, while Harry and Leah had to sit and wait for an officer to be able to start their case. Leah was unsettled to see it was the shorter police officer from the previous night whose joke about Florence she hadn't understood. She had Florence with her this time, so if there were any questions for her to answer, at least Leah wouldn't be caught in the middle this time. Officer Mullen, that's the short officer, let's put her name in there, had no knowledge of the van having been brought in for evidence. Okay, no, she was Scottish. She was like the no, that's Welsh. Glasgow, the deeper one. Even if we had wanted to look at it, it would have been looked at in situ, she explained, because the ground around it would have been evidence as well. Fucking hell. Because the ground around, that's hard to see because this isn't an accent anyone uses. No, that's Irish. That's not even a Scottish accent, is it? Oh man. So hang on. Scottish? Yeah, that's Irish. Ah, damn it. I had this last week. How's this happening? Um, I'm from Glasgow. No, Edinburgh. Oh, that's my Edinburgh accent's all up here. And then if I want it to be deep, it's more. Is that Scottish? Is that's it, isn't it? I think. Um, um, even if we had wanted to look at it, what's that? Even if we had wanted to look at it, we would have looked at it in situ, she explained, because the ground around it would have been evidence as well. I don't know. I don't know. I cannot go to Northern Ireland for the weekend and then come back and be expected to do everywhere but Northern Ireland when I can't do accents. She took down as many details as Leah and Harry could remember about it. Um, you don't know, she quizzed when Harry and Leah struggled to accurately describe the interior more than vaguely. Well, we've only had it a few days, Leah supplied. Right. Officer Mullen made some notes. So, the night of the murder. There you go. You were in the camper van. We were. Oh no, he's Welsh. I'm from Wales. Uh, Welsh. We were. I'm from Wales. We were. That's Scouse. Oh, it's the ghost of Paul. Um. Well, Harry says we were in a Welsh accent, but it's too short a sentence to try and say in an accent. Um, with the dog. Mullen's eyes flicked to Florence. How old is she? I don't know what to do with my mouth. How old is she? Mullen reached out a hand and scratched behind Florence's ears. We're not really sure, Leah said. Let me guess, you've only had her a few days, Mullen said dryly, and Leah decided not to tell her she was right. Um, I'm from Wales. She's a rescue. Is that Welsh? Hello, I'm from Wales. She's a rescue dog, Harry said swiftly, rescuing Leah from beginning to wonder if she was as suspicious as she sounded. I'm from Wales, but probably around 8. Uh, oh, hey, I'm from Scotland now. I like dogs, said Mullen. Then sighed and shuffled her notepad to indicate the meeting was over. We'll keep an eye out. It'll likely turn up abandoned and hopefully not burned. Do you have anywhere to stay in the meantime? Leah began, wondering what their plan would be. Well, we might be able to go back to stay with Gina and Larry, or we might try to head home on the train. She looked to Harry to see if he would indicate a preference. He just shrugged. Stay on if you can. I think this is morphing into Sean Connery, this poor woman. Stay on if you can, Mullen said. I'd be surprised if we didn't find your van. Give us a couple of days. Leah and Harry returned to the waiting room to ask Gina and Larry if they could intrude on their hospitality a little longer, or if there was a hotel nearby that they could book for a few nights. Um, Bella Bambina, at 12 o'clock. We would be delighted to have you stay with us, Gina exclaimed, and Leah got the feeling she really did mean it. They again climbed back into the car and began heading in the direction of the Russo de Luca sprawling family home. We can take the dogs for a nice walk when we get back, said Gina merrily. Something to blow the cobwebs away. But when they arrived back at the house, the doormat contained an item that made them forget all about any thoughts of walking dogs. It sent a chill down Leah's spine. A simple manila envelope addressed in a thin blue fountain pen ink, simply addressed to Leah and Harry. But who knew they were there? Dun dun dun! A mystery letter on the doorstep. Bum, bum, bum. Who could it be? Now, the letter, what's going to happen in the letter depends on what the letter is written in. So it's up to you to decide whether the letter is written with like cutout letters from a magazine, like one of those piece it together, like, we've got your mother, give us blah, 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 blah. Is it one of those? Is it written in something red? Ooh. Is it written in chalk or is it written in paint? Cut out letters, something red, chalk, or paint. Those are your options for what the letter is physically written in. So, as ever, get voting once the video is posted. And we're setting up a big old part of the mystery here. I don't think it's a good idea to try and write a murder mystery that you're making up as you go along with no chance to go back and edit. But look, it's what we're doing now. So how badly wrong can it go? Lee says, "Damn it, I thought the house was going to be gone as well." That would be a big mystery, wouldn't it? So there you go. There's your votes. Don't forget to vote. It was incredibly tight on this one. There was one in it between a letter and a phone call. Excuse me. So go vote. I love you very much. Thank you very much for being here and being so silly. And thank you for choosing Owen, Llewellyn, and Bob to be our little boys. And don't forget Lex Education on a Monday. And if you haven't rated it and reviewed it on Spotify or iTunes, please do. Please give this video a little thumbs up. Don't forget National Treasures podcast. There's a new episode coming out tomorrow. And don't forget my books, the real ones that were edited. Listen, I just love you all very much, and I'll see you very soon. Thank you, Emma. I'm sure I will feel better soon. I think I'm on the up. And take care. Goodbye. I love you. Bye.